It's funny when people say things. I'm not as obsessed with music as I used to be. Like, as a younger person, we all like go through that where we just love music. I think a lot of us go through that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you say something, and I'll like find a song that it goes
just riff
with,
on
right?
it always. Yeah.
Do you wake up? Oh, wait. Never mind.
With Folgers in my cup.
No, before you go. Wake me up before you go.
Time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 250 of Born to Be Wild, a wild Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the wild formats of Hearthstone, and spotlighting members of the wild community. I am your host, ElectricSheepCity. It is great to be back this wonderful Friday evening here in Kickin' Rad, Colorado. I am joined by fellow host, Hydralisk.
Yo!
For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs. And the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all podcast apps. However you are watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today. Thank you. Yes. You.
Content plug. Hydralisk. Before we get into the main topic of the show, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the absolute world to us. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we've got some awesome emotes you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. It is free if you use Amazon Prime. Finally, if you'd like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We've got some channels in the Discord that are unlocked by subscribing to the Patreon, where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. If you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord, a free and amazing online community of friends all across the world who love talking about wild Hearthstone. Links to all this stuff and more, including our merch, can be found on our website, which is www.borntobewildhs.com. Electric Sheep City, how was your week?
I had an incredible week, not gonna lie. So, you know.
Naga again? Not gonna lie? Naga?
Naga? No lie? You know. Work happened. It was busy. Squelch is back. By that I mean I am back on Squelch. So we recorded an episode.
Back. It was gone.
It had been around. I've been listening. But yeah, I am back on Squelch. So recorded an episode. I think that was over the weekend. Nice. I'm so happy to catch up with Dano and Matt. Daniel wasn't on the episode then, but you know, I look forward to catching up with Storm Rage as well. I mean, we've been talking throughout all of us, but you know, we just haven't been verbally speaking.
Was there like what game are they on? Was there a specific game of choice? Yeah.
Yeah. So this one was Dragon Age Origins Awakening. So I didn't actually play this one because it's like the DLC or the expansion to Dragon Age Origins. But I'm starting to play Dragon Age 2, which we're diving into next. So
nice.
Yeah. I also got to play some Dune Awakening. I'm not typically like an MMO person, but I got to play that with my friend on Tuesday, but like I was just hanging out in voice chat, but I was doing like the tutorial, like intro, like missions and stuff, but we were hanging out too. So it was great to reconnect with friends there too.
Nice.
Of course,
Is it out of beta yet?
It is out of beta officially. Yeah.
Okay, because I joined the beta like, oh my gosh, like a year ago or something.
Sounds
like
about
that.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like the right timeline for sure.
Cool.
So
Well, that sounds fun.
spending a lot of time doing those things, but yesterday, oh my gosh, Hydra and I and Schmoopy, of course, got to play theory crafting like I'm gonna say all day. It wasn't quite all day, but it was well into the evening, and that was a blast as well. So I'm very excited to talk details about that very soon. But first, Hydra, how was your week, my friend?
My week was good. I've been trying to, I think, like any other 40-year-old male who goes through this, like, I'm going to work out and I'm going to lose weight and then I'm going to, like, stop because candy, ice cream, good. And then I'm going to, like, get back on and
Ice cream.
Like, dude, I love ice cream so much. I went through this thing. Okay, so, like, 6 months ago, I would just buy vanilla, man. I would just buy vanilla, but I had like a strawberry drizzle and then like a chocolate drizzle and like a caramel drizzle. And then I started buying like these cookies that I would like squish up and crumble on it with the drizzle. And I was eating it like every night before bed. And it showed. Like
So whenever I moved from Texas, I was thinking that I was going to miss Bluebell ice cream. But I haven't because they still sell it here in Colorado now too. It used to just be like a Texas thing. So I've been having like cookie two-step is my go-to. It's cookies and cream icing, or not icing, ice cream with chocolate chip cookies in it. So it's like cookie dough ice cream, but the ice cream that is put into
you're not helping.
is cookies and cream. So that's my go-to. Like,
yeah.
All to say, ice cream.
Oh, dude, it's like my favorite thing. And I would just like, so my wife, she's like, can you bring me just like a scoop, like a small scoop? And I'd bring her like hers. And we'd have like a modest sized bowl. And she's got this tiny little like half scoop like in the middle. And then mine is like this massive mound with all of like everything.
Yeah, and doing a couple scoops is how I moderate, but I can't say no to that ice cream altogether. I just can't.
It's so bad. Anyway, I've been a lot more active in the last like I'm gonna say like 2 months, 3 months, or whatever, and it's working.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that. Like about maybe like a 10-pound difference at this point. Down, not up, which is good.
Heck yes, dude! Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's also increased my ability to listen to more audiobooks. So I started the year off pretty rough with the audiobooks, and I've been picking them up a little bit more and listening like a couple hours per day easily or more, which is nice. Last week, I think I had said that I had finished Black House, right? And that I was on to Cell, and that I've already finished Cell. So that's done. That's the one I said that was kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. So it's done. I will say the ending. I'm not going to say what it was, but it was kind of one of those like typical Stephen frickin' King. That's all I'm gonna say. Like at the ending, I was like, I want to punch you and hug you at the same time. Was like how I felt at the end of that. Yeah. And then I moved on to Lisi's story, which was written in 2006, I believe. We're getting to more modern times, which is good. I'm super close to Doomickey, which is the one that Nate kept telling me that I need to read. And I'm like, I think it's either next or the one after this one. So I'm really close to doing Doomickey. And Mrs. Hydra is going to do Doomickey at the same time as me. Because it's been recommended to her through Chat GPT. She wrote like all of her favorite books and stuff. Like, and then it kept asking more questions, and it narrowed it down to the fact that she should read Doomickey. which is kind of interesting. So we'll do that at the same time. So that'll be a cool one to talk about. But yeah, other than that, just trying to stay healthy, doing more book stuff. And I'm thinking, so I used to talk about how I was doing a lot of schooling before, and that kind of like went on hold with Bossy Hydra. I think it's time that I kind of step back in. So that's, I believe, I'm not going to make any promises at this moment as to a timeline, but I feel like that's what's coming next for me is like jumping back into where I left off with like the whole schooling stuff. So probably going to be doing that.
I worked for a university for 10 years. You know, I'm always going to be like, going to encourage pursuing educational pursuits.
I've already paid for all the books. Okay. And I did that like how long ago? And it's all sitting on my bookshelf over here. So,
and those would not have been cheap either. I know college textbooks. So,
yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. Probably like I've been doing some soul searching and just thinking about it's something I should probably continue doing. It was a little overwhelming to be doing both once I got like the management position and everything, and things have changed and calmed down a little recently. So I think that it's probably time. Nice. Yeah. But, and then, we did, we were, I don't want to say fortunate enough because we're just in the position that we've got ourselves to be able to participate in the theory crafting stream. And we'll talk more about that later, but that was a big part of my week and being able to do that, just like Sheep had said. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But first, Sheep, what's in the news?
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
Yeah, the news is actually a little bit of a mixed bag this time.
You mean it's actually pretty bad? No, just kidding.
Welcome to the news. The news is actually pretty bad.
I have both. And it is both. So, starting out with Unleashing King Krush, Hearthstone's first interactive pet. So this one, for me personally, is also a bit of a mixed bag. So they had announced ages ago that pets were coming, but they told us a lot more about them. So they are interactive cosmetic companions. So the very first one that they're coming out with is King Plush. Or King Krush, I'm sorry.
I know, I want to call it Plush just automatically because he's like looks tiny, but
right.
I got you.
And we'll get there, but one of the skins is King Plush. But I think that we kind of have to like divide this topic into two different things. And I'm actually gonna start out with the positive one because I think it'll be much shorter.
It's not the reasoning I thought you were going to say. But yes, let's do that. Let's go with the facts. Let's go with the facts and the announcement.
Yeah. So they are interactive cosmetic companions. We had our hands with them on them in the theory crafting event. You can feed it. There's like a little, at the very least in the King Krush version, I don't know what future ones may look like, but there's like a little thing that you can feed him with like ham on a stick, and there's a little like plush toy that you can play with him, and then like he rips it up, and it's cute and it's pretty fun. So you can also play with your pet to unlock new skins. So if you get the pet, you play with that thing for a while, and the King Krush in particular is, starts off looking like OG King Krush, evolves Pokemon style into an orange one. then kind of like an icy like one. So he's purple with like all the icy kind of like features to him. And then the final one is King Plush, like I mentioned, being one of the versions on there. Hydra demonstrating right there. So like, pretty neat little thing. Like, honestly, pets, like there's some other issues that we kind of noticed in the theory crafting stream. Like the pets seemed to have made some of the like other things that are still on the board uninteractable. Like the things in the right.
When we were talking about the golden vegetables, right? Like you couldn't do it. Or like
I couldn't even try.
You couldn't even try to get the golden vegetable. Yeah.
I couldn't start farming. So I mean, I imagine that's a bug.
Get the golden vegetable. You're like, it actually doesn't work. I can't even click on them.
I can't
try. I'm sure
they'll
fix that. But yeah.
That one's a bug, but like it's bugged. And
I wonder if it's like it's a new layer. Like they layered this over top completely.
Oh, that would make sense.
It's covering the left side of the board, the bottom left side, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's a whole new layer, then maybe they're like, oh wait, like knocking on glass, dunk, 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 dunk. Can't like hit the layer beneath it,
right? And then the other part is that like the audio for it does actually overlap with the Heroes audio as well, which just kind of like is a cacophony of sounds if you were sensitive to that kind of thing. So those are kind of like the downsides. It's cute. The downside, the big one is monetization. So like, you know how I was like, hey, it's kind of cute. It's kind of fun. I'm not going to specifically read their breakdown of it in particular, but essentially there's 10 different cosmetic things that you can get in the Dark Moon Fair treasures. That's the Dark Moon Fair treasures is the thing. And it's essentially a gacha like system. For those who are not familiar with that, I'll kind of go over how it applies to Hearthstone here. So like we've got 10 things. You only really want King Plush, right? But how do you get King Plush? You just have to like randomly try and get it.
You gotta spin the wheel.
Gotta spin the wheel. Yep. And so you spin. The way most gachas work is you can just like continue getting the other stuff and you're just searching for something. So it gets stupid expensive. Way more so than what we're going to talk about here, which to me is also unacceptable to BH. But we'll get there. So there are 10 things that you can get in the Dark Moon Fair from the Dark Moon Fair treasures. Obviously the one we're going for, highlighting here is King Krushed, the pet. But there is also in there Diamond, Neri the Creator, Signature, Opu the Unseen, a hero skin set. So it's got Egwin, the hero skin, and a card back. Signature epic cards, Creature of the Sacred Grave. So you get 2 copies of that. The Field Researcher Elise Druid hero skin, 2 copies, so enough to play in your deck, of the signature rare Volcanic Thrasher, a card back, Clever Girl, the Lost City of Ungoro Gold card back. Yeah. The Clever Girl card back. Love that. Yeah.
Just the Jurassic Park reference. It's just so good.
Love it. And then finally, signature common card, Questing Assistant ×2. So that's how you get the signatures for that. So there are a lot of things here. And the first pool that you get is free, but they are
first one's always free sheep.
Yeah, they are not all free. And these are all weighted odds. So that's what makes the kicker. Like if all 10 of these had 10% odds, then like I still wouldn't like it because it would still be, in my opinion, like gambling, but at the very least, like you could legitimately, likely 10% chance get King Crush initially, and then it would scale up. That is, of course, not how it's done here. The weighting is terrible. So they have an official like weighting like chart here in the Dark Moon Fair Treasures thing here. So we're not going to go over it on the audio version here, or absolutely highlight every single one here, but we're going to focus on King Crush, right? So the initial weighting is 0.1% to get King Crush. And the other weightings, are all different. Not every single one, but like you have a higher weight to get like questing assistant, etc. Depending on how you pull what, it can either go higher or lower as you go on. But like if we have pulled 4 things, then the weight that they gave in their example looks like probably the more weighty things, not all of them, but it goes down to like 0.4%. And I can just like keep on breaking down this, and that's boring content. So we're not going to do that.
Once you've gotten something, it is now eliminated from the pool.
Mm-hmm. And its weighting is removed in a proportional amount.
Goes up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's distributed.
Yeah. So since that's kind of a variable thing, depending on what you get, and like, yeah, we can break all that down, but like our buddy Emic over at Hearthstone has made this really cool Dark Moon Fair Treasures Simulator. So of course that is on hearthstone.com. It was 3 days ago from time of recording. But we've got this cool little example of what it is we could do. And there's even an option to simulate 1,000 sets. So you can like actively do all of this. So one of the options is to speed up. That just takes less time per click. It'll still show us each one. So, I'm going to do we're going to effectively experience what the experience will be like. So our free one.
I'd laugh if we roll King Crush.
So we got questing assistant.
That's the 30% chance one.
Mm-hmm. One of the cool things about this that Emic has made is that it updates what the percentages are to pull each one, including, of course, King Crush, for each individual pull. So like second pull, this one would cost $2 because the pricing is different for each one too. 0.1% to get King Crush. So we spent $2. We got a golden pack. Oh, hey. King Crush. Now we have 0.2% chance to get him.
It's going up.
No, we didn't get him. Oh, now it's 0.3. So that last one, that cost $4. This next one, this costs $6. We got a 0.3 chance to get King Crush. Oh, we got the Neri Diamond card.
Does that the total amount of money we spent?
It does. So far we've spent $12.
Okay.
We're about to spend 10 more US dollars to do it once more.
You're gonna spend $10, Sheep? Oh my gosh, you just spent $10 on that. Oh, and a card back, or a hero.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad, I guess, if you really like that hero.
And so now we're $22 in, but there's only, we've gone through half of the things, so like, okay, $22 shouldn't be that bad to continue going on. This next one's $13 for this roll.
Okay. Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen?
Sad news. We didn't get it. We got a signature card. So now we're $35 in the hole. We've only got 4 more. $18 for this one. No, we got a good thing though. We got the mage portrait in the card back, so that's neat. But now we're $53 down the hole, $25, but there are only 3 things left.
Oh my gosh, maybe we'll get it this time, Sheep. With a 0.7% chance.
0.7% chance. Let's see, with $25. Clever girl. We got the card back. So
it teased me. It like King Krushed like pulsed.
So we're $78 in the hole. Only 2 left. King Plush now has a 3.8% chance of being drawn. $30 to do this next one. And oh no, we didn't get it. So we're $108 in the hole. King Plush now has a 100% chance, but it is $50 for this final swing. So now we get King Plush. It's guaranteed. So we just spent $158 to get this pet. That's what happened right there. So we can reset it and do it again, and we can reset it and do it again. We can reset it and do it again. But I just simulated 1,000 sets. So if 1,000 people did this thing, we have some personal bests. So we have 3 really good ones. When I did this before, it actually showcases the ones that were outliers. So before it showcased me like 5, this one it only showcases me 3. So in 1,000 rolls, 2 people got it for free. Check that out. One person got it for what was it? $6.
Ah, good. $6. That's not bad.
Most people got it for $158. And
like 99% of people.
Yep. So this is the 1,000. So it's, you have to go into it assuming that you are spending $158 for one. For 2, it's not clear how much money you're going to be spending through that. Like,
no, you're like, hey, free. Hey, $2. Hey, $4. Yeah. And then it just goes up exponentially.
Yeah, it goes up. Thankfully, not exponentially, but it goes up.
In my brain, $2 to $50 is a lot. Like it's bad. It's bad. For rolls, like really, it's not like it's $2 per roll, right? Like it increases every single time. Like it actually is way worse. Like it's not like, oh, I just roll for $2 each time. That's not the case. You're rolling for $50 at the end.
Right? Like, and here's the thing for me. I understand bundles. Bundles make sense. I give you this much money. It's very clear what the exchange is going to be happening. What I don't like about this is how it's obfuscating, hiding, like camouflaging what the actual price is to the average consumer. Because like Emic in chat right now, he made this, like we mentioned before. Emic knows that this is going to cost $158. You listening to this podcast, if you did not know before, you now are aware this is going to cost $158, right? You are the engaged people. I'm glad that the community is, because we are far from the only ones highlighting this, like the community is very vocally providing the feedback that we don't like this. And to me, what I don't like about it is the obfuscating of the price, the random elements, the kind of gambling, the gotcha, like I was talking about, elements of getting it. Like, oh, I could be one of the special, like, few people who gets it early. Like, it's a shot in the dark, man. But like, 100%, 100 out of 100%, this is 0.1. So it makes sense that on average, if we do 1,000 pulls, that one person is gonna get it, right? Like on average. We had a slightly above average in that in 1,000 we had 2, but that's the kind of variance we're talking about here, right? Like That's how minuscule the chances are that you're going to be getting it for free or on the cheap. So the obfuscating of it, the honestly huge price, like if they were to have this whole bundle in the store for $158, I would still be like, that's too much. But I wouldn't be like monologuing.
It's like you're slowly fooled into it, I guess, is like my major complaint, because it just starts off innocent and cheap.
And the first few just go up by $2.
Ariborn wrote up in our chat earlier, it's like, well, we've gone this far. Like, why not go again, right? Like, because, like our odds are going up. They're going. What at the end? It was like, what was it? 3 point something % chance? 3.4, 3.3%, something like that.
Yeah, so it can scale differently
depending on what you've pulled. Yeah. But still, it's never going to be like
it's
higher
never
than
be
5% probably. like it's. I think it's always going to be bad unless you're like up against the second worst one. I guess you would have a higher percent chance. Is the only way you're going to have something that's close.
And since our penultimate roll, our second to last roll was, I really like what Emic did here. Look how these are different, like colors. So the common things, those are in white. The more rare things, so that are in blue. That more epic things, so the epic pulls. So we got lucky on our roll 4, and we got an epic thing. On roll 9, so the penultimate one, the second to last one was another epic. So depending on which epic that was, like they're slightly different weights, I think. So our second to last one was the legendary signature card Opu the Unseen, which is not the second to most rare. So we could have had a slightly higher, ever so slightly, percentage. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of what I'm talking about here, right? Like we're having to go into like what the percentages are and how it changes, and and your second to last one, it could be as high as like 5, 6, something like that %, or as low as like still like 2%, like 1%. I don't remember what it was. I did a few of these earlier today, but I didn't jot notes on that one, but it was minuscule. So like the dynamic changing of the weight of the odds means that it's not clear to the average person who's just logging in and like, ooh, I want that. They're not necessarily going to see it. And I think that that's sketchy. So I really like that the community has been super against this. And I'm going to be honest, if I did not anticipate getting this for free, I'm not going to engage with the system at all. Depends on how it's distributed to us. If I engage with the system at all in general. If we have to like go through and do that, then sadly I will do that because they're giving it to me for free. But otherwise, I'm not touching this because I don't want to engage with this in any way, shape, or form.
I feel like they're probably, so this is already like, they put this post out. These are the numbers. I don't think they're going to change this. We've mentioned that there's been other things that they've changed. When we talked about our daily and weeklies, they've done that. We talked about Arena and they're working on that and everything. I think this one's for this specific event. I'm pretty sure it's probably set in stone and they may not switch it. Like, numbers probably are all sort of locked in. Surprise me, Blizzard, if you want to switch it before then. But I think with enough complaints, while this one may be locked in, they may so let's say, so for example, we talked about mercenaries before with the fact that if you didn't buy in at the beginning, you didn't get that the diamond version of Diablo, right? Like you needed to jump in and spend a bunch of money, and that's how you got that, and that's how you're getting this, right? That is how you're getting your King Crush right now. But maybe going forward afterwards, there's going to be different pets. Maybe they're not as cool. Maybe there's like filler pets and like whatever, and then there's going to be some reward track pets. I would assume there's going to be reward track pets. Like,
I hope so.
Like there has to be. I think this is just kind of the like, hey, it's here. If you don't get this one now, you're never going to get it, right? Like this is your one and only chance to do this thing, and that's how companies make money.
That FOMO.
That exact FOMO. Hearthstone has been good about FOMO with being able to purchase card backs that you missed out on. Like if you never got that, what's that? The pumpkin one?
Yeah.
from
Hallows
the beginning.
Eve.
Yeah, that it is so funny because I
one of my
remember
favorites.
being like super annoyed that you could just start buying them for gold because like it's cool,
dude.
But I remember also
I was playing Hearthstone then, but I was only playing in casual because that's how casual I was.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that like ranked didn't matter. Like I thought everyone in ranked was like super sweaty and just like trying for it, like going hard. And yeah, so I didn't have it, but I did buy it with gold, and I'm absolutely not grumpy about it.
No, I know you're not. The only one that actually makes me really grumpy was the Power Core, because that was one that I exclusively had, and people would always ask me about it. It's because you had to go to, oh my gosh, what did they used to call it? I forget what they called the stinking events, but it was like you had to go to like a Hearthstone Worlds competition or whatever to get the stupid thing. And that's how you got it. And that would really, really bug me to get like if you didn't have the Power Core, people would be like, oh, how'd you get that? How'd you get that thing? Oh, HCT. That's what it was called. You had to go to HCT. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the HCT events. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how you got it. And then you could buy it. And I was like, aw, lame. Like, I had to go somewhere for that. I drove my car. Yeah, a total tangent. But yeah, I'm just hoping that there's going to be, this is like the gateway drug, I guess. First one's free. And not free. The first attempt is free. And then hopefully you'll get there, and you probably won't. And you'll probably end up spending $158. And depending on what country you live in and what currency you are, they could be more, they could be less, depending on what your currency is compared to the American dollar. So a little rough. I'm going to say it's a bit of a rough start, I think. I'm hoping, like I said, there's going to be stuff going forward. I just think this is the gotcha right at the start.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, Schmoopy Daddy isn't here, but would you like me to, or would you like to read Schmoopy Daddy's opinions?
I would love to hear in your best Schmoopy Daddy voice what Schmoopy Daddy's opinions are.
Schmoopy Daddy's insight. Pets are fun, but the monetization system is gross. I would not pay for the pet to be the full amount of pulls. I might try up to total expenditures being $12. I can't be up in arms about the system this way. They are trying to make money, and Hearthstone is a business. I can't even get up in arms about it being predatory, because I think we need to have a certain amount of personal responsibility to take care of ourselves and know when we need to walk away. Good point, Schmoopy Daddy. You do need to walk away sometimes. Some people can't. But the stance of we want this model of price in our game, never amount of times, is perfectly reasonable. I don't see how this is going to be legally acceptable in some countries. I don't know what the other countries like laws are, but that's a good point. like, I know that a lot of countries have to go through weird, like, that's why games make loot boxes and all these rulings and all these different things to get around gambling laws and everything. This one, so like Shmoopy Daddy he's sort of at the end of his comment here, like zeroing on how this could not be acceptable possibly in some countries. To me, like, it is literally like pulling the slot machine handle, right? Like, it's like where's it gonna land? Right? Like, this seems actually, in my opinion, and to what Shmoopy Daddy's saying, like, more so than ever before with Hearthstone on the G word, like, a little bit. Like, it's kind of like a lot. Though Shmoopy Daddy also, he's not big into cosmetics.
True.
So, like, he's saying that it's not a big deal for him because it's not something that he's going to get sort of sucked in by, right? Like, it's not something that affects him, and he feels like he has control over that aspect of himself and encourages people to also have that control. But you do you, man.
Yeah.
You can pull that lever however many times you want. I don't recommend it.
I don't either. And I definitely fall into the stance of we want to model this price in our game never amount of times camp. Like, that's honestly what my issue with it is, you know, he says we need to know when to walk away. And even though these, you know, percentages are on the website, they're not in front of you in the client like they are in Imic's example here. In the client, you don't know that. You just see the big King Crush, and you see, hey, this first one's free. Oh, this next one's $2. And so, like, if you're not informed and you're just going into it and going like, whoa, this cool event. Oh yeah, I get something for free. And then it's like $2. Well, if they're all going to be $2, like, okay. And then the next one's $4. And you're like, well, I mean, if they're all going to go up by $2, like $6. Okay. And then the next one's $6. So you're like, okay, it's still only going up by 2. Then the next one's $10. And you're like, oh, $4 is a bit of a jump, but like, I'm halfway through it. I'm just about halfway through it. Like, if they're just going up by this much, like, still expensive, but all right. The next one's 13. So you're like, okay. Then the next one's 18. And you're like, oh. The next one's 25. And you're like, really? The next one's 30. And so by that point, you know, you've slowly inched up to where at that point, after you spent $30, you're $108 in the hole. So before that, you were only, quote unquote, $78 in the hole. But you don't, like, if you're just a person who doesn't know what the odds are, and, you know, maybe you don't go into gambling things. And so, like, this is something that maybe, like, that you're not experienced with, or, you know, they do specify that people under 18 won't be able to participate in this event. So, like, that's an issue too. So, like, if you're exactly 18 and you don't know, that's verified by your battle.net, I imagine, like, what age you put in for that is my assumption.
What if, oh my gosh, I don't look, if you look at the screen, the button that you need to click is blinking like it's like you're at the casino, and it's like, hit it again. I'm actually more upset by this than I was before the episode.
Yeah. I mean,
and I knew all this. It's just talking to somebody else about it. Like it's like increasing my spidey senses on this. Like, I don't want to say predatory, but like, it's bad. Like, it's, and not everyone's going to click the button. So, like, the funny thing is that the first one being free, I think if you all can go and get your free thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with going and getting your free thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's just the ability to know that, like, okay, I didn't get it. Let's go just click on Hearthstone again and play my next game. If you're not someone who invests money in the game. If you are all about, like, 100%ing everything, and that's just what you do, and you know, you've got that cash flow and you don't care, go for it. Like, out of that, up to you, man. But I could spend $158 at the grocery store, right? Like, I'd rather spend it there than on a chance at, like, a digital version of, like, a plush toy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if we were not likely to get this from the creator program, I would not.
I was going to say also, I feel like a jerk sort of talking crap on it because as Sheep said, full disclosure, I get one of these for free. Right. And like, that's cool. I'm going to play with it because, like, that's, I mean, I guess one of the words that you get for being a content creator, and that's super, super cool. But if I wasn't getting it for free, I would not have spent $158 on it. That's for sure.
No. And especially because, again, I keep on coming back to it, but the monetization model being actively obfuscated makes me just mad. Like, I don't like that. Like, we know what the percentages are. We can see that, but someone who's just going in there, seeing the bright and shiny lights, wanting the king crush, are not going to just, like, no, they're just going to push the button.
No, they didn't look at the chart, right? Like, there's a lot of people that don't look at the chart and the odds and all that stuff. Like, there's not, I would say the majority of people that log in and play a game where they do daily quests and stuff, they're going to do this, they're going to do their Candy Crush, they're going to do, like, whatever other game they're playing, right? Like, they're not necessarily reading patch notes and looking at charts and odds and stuff. They're just clicking a button.
Right.
And suddenly that button got out of control.
Uh-huh. And even more than that, too, like the fact that it kind of slowly kind of scales up, you know, before you know it, you've spent, like, let's say the $10 one, after that is where you kind of pause, right? At that point, you've spent, after that, you spent $22 and then 35. Like, it just, okay, you're that close, but okay, if they're just this many more, I can do it. It's just that not blatantly apparent in client scaling too of the price. Everything about it, like, just, I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I don't think they're gonna change it until the next time around. But who knows? Fingers crossed. We do have till, this doesn't come out to the 8th, I think, something like, it's right either expansion day or day before expansion. This comes out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it comes out on July the 8th.
Yeah. So expansion day. So they do have time if they want to mess with the numbers a little bit, and I'm sure that they'll hear some feedback. But on this one, I'm not confident they'll do anything beforehand.
Yeah,
because this one's actual money. This isn't arena rewards. This isn't quest rewards. This one's dollar value.
This one's runestones.
Which is money.
Which is money. Which is money. Yeah.
Yeah.
One quick thing to just kind of wrap it all up is I'd like to reinforce separating the monetization from the thing. I think the thing is pretty neat. I think it's got a couple of bugs that it needs to kind of get worked out, but I think by and large those will happen and it'll just be neat and fun. if this was in the store, like if it was $50, then I don't think I would pick it up. If it's 20, I would, and I don't think that would be happening. Now, if it was like one of my favorite characters or something, okay, $50, all right. I'm going to 50 because of the last roll, right? Like that's the only thing I have to gauge it off of, right? Is that last roll. So the thing is kind of neat, you know, if it was in the store and in something that I felt was fair, I'd buy it. If it was more expensive, I'd be like, that's expensive, but you know, not have any other issue with it. This though, I don't like it. I want it out of my game.
I'm looking forward to people posting them getting it. I mean, it's 1 in 1,000, but I'm looking for people posting that they got it their first roll.
Right?
It's going to happen to 1 in 1,000 people. Those are the odds.
But on a less contentious point, we also got to do some theory crafting. So theory crafting was a blast. Hydra, what was your... give us a broad overview of the theory crafting, and please also throughout that let me know what kind of your favorite bit was.
So my broad overview of the theory crafting is that we're all dudes that like have jobs and stuff, and so sometimes I'm able to take the day off, and then sometimes I'm not, and I didn't really bother with trying to figure that out this time because I just knew it wasn't going to happen. And so Sheep was fortunate enough to be able to start early, which was awesome. So like, I'm super glad I get that exposure early, get to play more, like super cool. And like I'm stuck doing things, and I see like Sheep starts at like it was like 12:30 my time or something, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to play, and then I see Schmoopy Daddy hops in like 2 hours later. I'm like, dang it, they're both playing. I want to play too. And so like 5 hours in, I'm able to finally join and still be around for like 4 hours of it. I think Sheep, you were there for, it was like my time, like noon till 9. Like you were there like 8 or 9 hours. Like that's awesome. That's and exhausting at the same time. I don't know how streamers do that every day. Like one day is enough. Not enough, but you know what I mean? Like it's hard. It like, but with new stuff, it's exciting. And as you know, and I know, the time flies by with the Theory Craft streams so fast.
So fast.
Usually I am there for the entire thing, but it wasn't going to happen this time. This was cool because my favorite part about this theory crafting was we get legendaries for each class every time, and there's this new thing to try, but there was quests.
Yeah.
Right. So basically that makes you like want to do every class and do every quest, which don't get me wrong. I understand there's been some things in Hearthstone that make you sort of need to get every single class quest or every single death knight, like they've done it before.
I did at least create a one deck for every single class, and every single one was a quest deck. We didn't play all of them, like you said, Hydra. We didn't get. There's not enough time to be able to play everything,
and you don't have to.
It goes by so quickly. Yeah, you don't have to.
Just like with Death Knights, when Death Knights came in, so when Death Knights were like advertised to us, we were all like, whoa, right? Like, and you feel like you need every single one, and quests, and you're like, whoa, like I need every quest, I need to play them all. And sometimes they suck. Like the original Warlock quest where you get the 3/2s every turn.
Neat, Grandpa, right?
Like,
I was there too, but also it's like,
not so cool.
That was bad at the time. Terrible now.
Yeah, it was bad then. It's bad now. Real bad. But there's that FOMO we talked about earlier, right? Like you needed to have them all. Like you wanted to try every single Death Knight. You wanted to try every single quest. And now quests are back and you want to try them all. The cool thing about the theory crafting stream is you get to learn what's garbage. Like, and what you don't need to get, which is like actually an advantage. I used to not watch when Theorycraft streams first started. I did not watch or participate because I didn't like spoilers. I used to like to make stuff like myself, which I'm not that good at, let's be honest. But that was what I thought at the time. But the fact that we get to play with the stuff and there's one for each class, that's super cool. And it gets to show to the masses what not to do. Until they buff it, I guess. That's super cool. So like the one that I wanted to see, just because I like Murlocs, was I wanted to see the Paladin one because Murlocs have been good for a long time. They come in and they come out, right? Like Murloc, Paladin, Finja Force 5. With Rogue, and we've had Murloc Shaman. There's been some crazy Murloc decks, and to see that Shaman was getting like a Paladin was getting a Murloc quest where they just keep getting bigger and bigger,
and it just continues to scale and scale and scale.
Like, okay, so Dive the Galacta Depths, if you don't know already, is a repeatable quest for 1 mana that you play at the beginning of the game, because why would you not? Summon 5 Murlocs. So repeatable. Every time you summon 5 Murlocs, your reward is Murlocs you summon gain +1/+1. So every time you summon 5, +1/+1 to everything you summon after that, and it keeps going up and up and up and up, and it's infinite. It's like Jades, but they go Murgle McGurgle.
And I know that you emphasize the word after, but I also want to emphasize even more that if you've got stuff already on your board, they're not going to already scale up with that. It's
Correct.
only ones that you summon subsequent to that. You did a good job of highlighting the word after, but I want to spend just a little bit more time so that people don't think that things are bugged.
Yeah. So if something on your board doesn't get bigger, it's not supposed to. Right. But like it's funny because it just keeps going and going and going and going, and they just keep getting bigger. And it's what's neat about this is you can play like an aggro-y deck, and if it doesn't work out, now you're mid-range. And if that doesn't work out, there's like more late game. And then like, it's just like, it's kind of cute because like it can sort of have good matchups against like a different spread, really. Right? Like kind of neat, unless like mages are just freezing your board and time warping you and like all sorts of crap. But
that's going to be an issue whether you're playing whichever board-based deck you're playing. So you know that by now. It's a good asterisk to add. Absolutely.
I just still hate it. I
agree.
I hate
100%.
Anyway, what was the deck that you would like, or a favorite moment, or anything what do you want to pick next that you want to talk about? Unless you want to add more to the Murloc thing.
No, Murloc was really fun. I'm even more excited to play it in our format. We kind of built a deck towards the end when we were playing some wild games against May, which was fantastic. We'll go over those ones in more depth a little bit later. That was one of my favorite parts, was playing against our friends. Like, that was really fun. Of course on the ladder, but at the very end, getting to spend the majority of the hour playing against May and then playing against Lenny earlier on. Like, it was just fun. Good fun.
Yeah, Lenny, who we strangely ran into more times than we ran into anybody else, if you're listening.
And she probably is. But yeah, that was a lot of fun there. But the one that I kind of want to highlight from a playing perspective, this should come as a surprise to absolutely no one who has already seen the cards. And if you haven't, oh boy, this will not come as a surprise to you if you are a longtime listener. My favorite was the Druid quest, Restore the Wild. Quest, fill your board on 3 of your turns. Reward, the Everbloom. The Everbloom is a 3-mana weapon. 2/5. After your hero attacks, give your minions +2/+2. So I thought that would be a lot harder to complete than it was. You just have to at one point, in standard at least, yeah. You just have to at one point have filled your board up in your turn during 3 different of your turns, right? So, we've got a lot of tools that standard doesn't have that I'm excited to play around with. I didn't make one of these for our wild matchup with May because I was too excited about the Demon Hunter one at that point because we had just played 2, which was fun. So we'll talk about the Demon Hunter quest in a little bit too, I'm sure, but because we have a wild deck about that. So that one was just a blast. My aggro druid affinity is definitely showing there, as well it should. So we have lots of ways to like generate a lot more tokens in one turn in our format, like Whispering Woods.
I was gonna say.
The otters, we had the option in standard and we used it. But there are other ones too, like Living Mana and other things that we can just spam a board of like, inconsequential things, but it doesn't matter if it's inconsequential. We just want to have our board full because we're going to buff it as soon as we can. And it's 5
swings.
Uh-huh. +2/+2 each time. It is a weapon, so there is, some weapon interactions. And if, you're a Highlander deck, you can run Zeph to kind of curb that as well. But, if
you shouldn't need more than 5 swings, though. That seems like... Because I was thinking, like, you could, like, infinitely buff this. Like, what do you want to swing 10 times? Like, that's not going to happen. Like, the point is to be, like, aggressive and like get that big fast board and go. So it's not really a point giving it more durability. Like you could if you really wanted to, but 5 is a lot.
5 is a lot. Agreed on both counts though.
I think that's we ran what out we call like win more if you're trying to get more swings out of it.
For sure. I think we only ran out of swings twice. If I recall correctly. Once was in like an aggro mirror. And so like that one, we still had a little bit more game. I think we lost that one. And then the other one was against a more control deck and we definitely lost that one. So like if you're like exhausting all of your swings, then yeah, because we couldn't concede. Those are part of the rules of the Theorycraft, which makes sense because everyone's trying to get content. And so what would normally be BMing is just like people doing the fun thing that they're trying to highlight for their content. Everybody knows this, who's participating. All to say, yeah, we totally would have just like scooped it on ladder. Like, no, we're not playing that out. And you too, if you exhaust all of your swings with the Everbloom from Restore the Wild, I would recommend just scooping it and moving on because
you're probably lost at that point.
Yeah. But of course, assess your situation and your proclivities for conceding on your own as well. So that one was so much fun for me.
Do you want to talk about 2?
I do.
So we had an absolute blast, maybe more fun than we should have, because I don't know if this deck is actually any good. But the Demon Hunter new quest that we played. So yeah, so Unleash the Colossus. So you have to deal 2 damage, exactly 2 damage, 15 times to complete your quest. And once you've done that, any time that you deal 2 damage afterwards, it deals an additional 2 damage. So, like, in my head, when we were first talking about this, I was thinking, okay, like weapon swings for 2 or spells for 2, that kind of thing. It didn't clue into me that it meant actually like swinging with a minion that deals 2 damage as well. For some reason, that escaped my brain. Like that counted. Then it like, because I'm like, oh, what spells do 2? Okay, so if we can do 2 with our hero power attacking, and we can deal 2 with Chaos Strike. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what about every card that has 2 attack, every minion that has 2 attack? And then it added up so quickly. And it's really, really fun. It's funny because we went like, I think 2-0 at the beginning, and then we lost a few, and I think we were kind of like getting our bearings. The stealth minion's pretty gross. Or what is it, the 2/4?
Yeah, it's a 2/4, and whenever you deal or whenever you attack with it, then it deals 2 damage to the enemy hero. So you can, it's stealthed, so odds are you get to attack with it in general, and then it gets 2 procs because of the attack on the minion, and then the attack, and then the 2 damage to the hero because of it. But then also, if it's after you've completed your quest and you've played your quest reward, then instead of dealing 2 damage and then 2 damage to the hero, deals 4 damage to whatever, and then 4 damage to the hero. So if you're going face, you're dealing 8 damage.
It's pretty cool. I'm hoping in standard it's pretty good.
So you were talking about win more earlier, right? You know what I want to do? This is going to be bad. So in our game against May, we had an odd Demon Hunter with this.
That's what I was avoiding bringing up. But if you want to go there now, let's go there.
I'm just going to mention that part in general. We'll go into more of that deck in general, right? But the thing that could be win more that we could potentially include, which also happens to be odd. You shouldn't do this. I'm going to. We can run Bran. So you can Bran Colossus for the rest of the game. Whenever you deal exactly 2 damage to an enemy, deal 2 more. And so then you, instead of dealing 2 more, are dealing 2 more and then 2 more. But I wonder if it like, I doubt that it like, stacks on top of one another, but I want to try it. I want to try that. I didn't even think about including Bran. Obviously, it's not like an actively good thing to be doing, but it's because a 1 legendary.
However,
and then you wouldn't be playing your Colossus until 8 instead of 5.
Do you know how much attack Bran Bronzebeard has, Sheep?
2!
So
therefore, we have to.
No, 2/4, 2/4, not therefore, 2/4.
Well, and it is a long running joke on this podcast that I compare numbers to 2. So like, oh, that's more than 2. Oh, that's less than 2. I used to say like, oh, that's parity, but now after the theorycraft, when 2, we were saying like the whole time. It's gonna happen.
Funnel cake. Yeah. No, it was really a lot of fun because one thing we noticed while playing this deck was, I know that Hearthstone has done this. The devs have done this to us, not only in this fashion, but like with other expansions where they sort of make you play sometimes sub-optimally to get the thing that you want, right? To get this reward. So there were times that we were choosing to deal 2 damage to something when you could do like much, much more because you're going for that quest reward. Is that correct? Maybe not. Like maybe you could have killed the enemy earlier. Like it potentially, yeah. But like we're chasing the carrot, right? Like we want that quest. We want to do 4, even though like we had the option to do like much more damage earlier on, and we're opting out of it. Like, do we add a hero power to this? Like, do we want to do more than our weapon? So that, what is the weapon? It's the 3 mana 2/2 weapon. Then you also get the 2/1 rusher. That thing is disgusting.
That thing is awesome.
2, like there's so like.
But if you add a hero power to it, then you have 3 attack, and you're not dealing 2 to scale it up.
And then you're not. So that was where we were
that hero power in with it. Yeah.
And there was one time we did like Schmoopy Daddy was reading a copy pasta, and Sheep and I are like looking at each other, and we're like, I think we hero power and kill the 3/3. Like I think we have to. I know we want 2. But we have to kill the 3/3. And we did. And I think that was the correct choice, just because like you can't like just let it live there because you're trying to like get an extra tick on your quest track there. So yeah,
so we cleared the minion, and it was an important break point. It was relevant. Yeah.
So don't always go for 2, but go for 2. So listen to me, but don't listen to me. Read between the lines, people.
The really fun thing that I like to do with it, with what I was immediately drawn to with this was, of course, odd. No, definitely doing it odd because, in standard, they can't get their hero power to deal 2. So when we push our hero power, we get 2 attack on our hero. So...
Oh my gosh. There's a whole bunch of things you can do for 2. I don't know if the payoff is as good with odd in wild, but like there's a lot more options. You could probably complete it way quicker. It's probably not that good of a deck in wild, but it was fun. It was definitely fun. Anytime I get a chance to play Leopardome in a deck, because like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, especially in this one because the attack is 2, and the death rattle also deals 2. Thank you.
Yeah, you smell like a Leopardome.
You do 2.
I feel icky.
So we've been talking about this Demon Hunter deck. So I'm just going to go ahead and plop it up on screen here as well for our video enjoyers to see what our general game plan was for that. Definitely want to jam in a Bran as well. But I think by and large, it seems fine. I'm not going to say it's good, but it seems fine.
I mean, if you wanted to play this quest and have fun and still win games, not saying you're getting legend with this deck. Maybe you could if you're getting over 50% win rate. Like you might be able to, but it's cool, right? Like it's not probably your optimal way to get there, but it might be possible.
Yeah, buddy. So we played this against May, friend of the show, Tyleniphe on Twitch, which is TYLENIPHE. If you want to check her out there. She's awesome and plays a lot of wild. Case in point, we played with her there. We played another really fun deck against her as well that Hydra really resonated with, and that one was Disco Lock. Hydra, tell me about your disco fun times.
Well, I mean, the problem is you guys always call me grandpa when I start talking about discard Warlock, right? So, like, Disco Lock started like way back, right? And it wasn't actually very good in the beginning when this deck first came out, but we still played it. All right. But this version, this is absolutely crazy at this point in time. Like there were times where we had like 5 Fists of Jaraxxus in our hand, and we were just like looking for the opportunity to discard them. Basically at this point in time, like you just keep, oh my gosh, there's so many things you want to keep, like bone, like the main thing you want is Melkazar's Imp, right? Because that's your refill. But you want like Bone Web, Egg, like Tiny Knot of Evil just scales. It's absolutely crazy. There are so many broken opening hands with this deck, and it's so low curve that if you're not in the mirror, you're gonna blow your opponent out of the water. I feel like with the inclusion too of Platasaur, like
so Platasaur is a new card. It's a 1 mana 1/2. You draw a card with a death rattle. That's a battle cry. Death rattle. Discard that card. So usually, like if you're an aggro deck, you're like, okay, well, if I don't get to play it, like whatever, like I'm at the very least setting my deck, blah, blah, blah. Here, if you discard it, that can be actively advantageous. Like, peep that out.
It's so funny. Yeah, and like Silver Wergolem is a classic. It's a 3/4. I can't remember when they updated it to a 3/4. It used to be a 3/3.
Caverns of Time. Yeah.
Is that when they did it? Yeah. Which just makes it so much better. Like, nobody keeps a 3 mana 3/4 in your mulligan. You do now when you want to discard it, right? Like it's this. The funny thing is when we played May with this, we thought that we had. Well, do you remember what was in our opening hand? I know we had Malkazar's Imp. I'm pretty sure we had Bone Web Egg. Did we have Merchant too? What else did we have? It was
we had Merchant, and was it a Soulfire? It was something that did, oh no, but I can't remember. We had something else. But Corb was in chat right then, and he like had helped or like inspired, I'm not sure, or maybe even just straight up made the deck that Schmoopy sent my way for this one. And he was like, well, we just win. It was a mirror. We did not just win.
No, I think we were 2 cards. We were 2 cards different from Corb's version.
That's what it was.
We were 2 cards off, and we adjusted for those 2 based on his suggestions as well. And May also had an amazing hand, and you would think. You know when you have like those opening hands, like with Rogue when we were playing Pirate Rogue, and you got the double brigands, and like you're just like you have like 4 or 5 minions on the board on like turn 1, and you're like ha ha ha, like you go now. Like that's what we did, and we still lost, which was kind of crazy because it was the mirror, and her hand was even more broken than ours was, and then. Since we dumped everything at the beginning, we ended up like we couldn't refuel, and May still had like 4, 5, 6 cards still every turn in her hand, and then at that point we were just top decking, and it just wasn't happening. But it's pretty gross. I'm trying to. Figure out how much I like Walking Dead. So Walking Dead's the 2/5, right? Like sometimes we were just playing that just cuz.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's good if you don't have to pay the mana for it or whatever, but we were just dropping it just for like defensive reasons. Do you remember what the text on Walking Dead fully says?
So it's a 2/5 taunt. If you discard it, then it puts it in play, kind of like Silverware Golem.
Yeah, same sort of thing. That didn't really happen for us much. We were just sort of like tempoing it out for defense and whatnot. But that was kind of worst case Ontario sort of thing. Like normally you're not really doing that. But yeah. There were times I think like I'd like to go over the list and see if there's maybe better ways of discarding cards. But there were times that we just had like a full hand of cards that were just asking to be discarded, and we didn't have a way to do that. Was the one weakness I guess I could see in it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, completely agreed on all counts. I almost wonder with The Walking Dead kind of feeling a little bit more clunky in practice, maybe we cut one of those and put our second Tiny Knight of Evil back in. I really like Tiny Knight of Evil, and if we're tempoing that, then I'd much rather be tempoing that than a Walking Dead, and that and the Soulfire, that and you know what I mean, cheap ways of discarding and such. So a lot of fun. If you like Discard Warlock, you will probably like this version because it's even better. We got a couple of new tools in our like Cursed Catacombs with Grave Defiler, I think was new. Platosaur. Was Walking Dead one of the new ones too?
I thought it was. I'm not 100% sure. I've never played the card before now.
Yeah, I hadn't either. And then, of course, Chamber of Viscidus, which was from Caverns of Time, but, hasn't been around that long either. So really fun deck that kind of marries the old school, like One Night in Karazhan Wild with the, fun new school as well, especially with like Platosaur. Just so fun.
Yeah. And so for me, like I mentioned in the beginning, like when Disco first came out with Karazhan, my first rank 5 in the old system was with a discard Warlock with Karazhan. The first time I hit like the original rank 5 was with that, and I remember doing it with the stupid 5/7 charge. Doomguard. I remember hating Doomguard so much because I'm like, this card's awesome, but I don't want to discard these cards because you didn't have the payoffs back then. Like they weren't there.
Yeah. I think it was just Silverware Golem and maybe one other thing, and just Silverware Golem and Fist maybe. I can't remember which expansion Fist is in, but it just, though at that point in time, you just needed to know that you were losing cards. You were losing 2 cards in your hand, and it was either for tempo or for the win, right? Like for the win, duh. Like you don't care. But there were times I'm like, I don't want to play it. Oh no.
Right, but yeah, if this ends up being crazy, I'm not saying it's going to be, but it's kind of good. Like it's kind of like a little scary good. So if you're gonna play it, I would say play it now, just in case. Yeah. I'm not saying they're gonna nerf it. I'm not saying they're going to, but it's kind of crazy. So play it now, just in case.
This one's on my radar too. Absolutely agreed on all counts. It's definitely on my radar of things that are likely to get a nerf or a ban for our format at some point. So we also mentioned a little bit about the Murloc deck that we played. I think this is definitely we just kind of threw this together right before like the very end of a very long stream. This is definitely not optimized, so I would definitely not run this particular version. But I think that the bones are there, right? Like obviously we have the quest. We've got one thing that I thought was really cool was the imprisoned Sungill. That's if you don't remember it, a 1-mana Murloc. It's dormant, and I think it's at your next turn after 2 turns. I can't remember how long it's dormant. But then it summons 2 Murlocs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a 1-mana progress, 3 ticks of 5 towards getting up to the next level. So that one was kind of a surprising one that I think I'll probably want to keep in the final one. I think that probably at the end of the day, what you and I were pushing for in this deck, the Vilefin Inquisitor, I think actually does make the list. For a number of reasons. One, if we're gassed and we can push our hero power and still get more Murlocs, but also if we've continued to upgrade our, quest and it has, +5/+5, every time we push our hero power, we get a 6/6. Right. So I think the Vilefin Inquisitor definitely deserves a spot here.
I think it goes in for sure. And it's it's got a good body for the cost too. It's a 1/3, right?
Exactly right.
I also kind of and I don't know if everyone's on board for this, but I think it's kind of a solid end game if you don't quite get there right away, is the charge package with the bluegills, the old Murkai.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's cool because they're going to be huge in the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could use them earlier on if you're going to be trading them off, or the bluegills or whatever, trading up with them or something. But I think that's cool. They may not stick in the list, but I think they're cool. But I've always loved Old Murkai because Old Murkai was one of my favorite part about that card was you had to collect every Murloc in the game to unlock Old Murkai. You couldn't get it unless you got them all. It was so cool. So then Old Murkai was this treasured thing to have. So it was so fun to play. And when you have a chance to play Old Murkai, you play Old Murkai. I'm telling you.
Rules are rules, man.
Rules are rules. And in this deck, you could destroy it. Y'all know what Old Murkai does, right? It's buffed based on all the Murlocs that are on the board, right? So the more Murlocs you got, the bigger Old Murkai is, and Old Murkai's got charge. So and these are bigger and bigger. A 2/4?
Yeah, he starts off as a 2/4.
2!
And then his exactly attack gets buffed by every Murloc on the board, which includes your opponents. So if you're in a mirror match, Old Murkai is even better. But also, of course, we're playing this quest deck. So he's, instead of being a base 2/4, he's a base 2/4 plus whatever your quest, plus the attack of however many other Murlocs are on the board. So
there's no way it's a bad card in the deck, right? It's yeah.
Completely agreed. There's kind of another kind of take on the deck as well, that instead of running Prismatic Beam and the Maul runs the Tip the Scales package.
Yes.
So we didn't try that, but I would like to try that at one point here as well. Whenever we get all the cards and actually in the client. Completely agree. Definitely worth trying. So this is, we called it Zach Copper because it was kind of like a Zach and Copper kind of helped Schmoopy with a number of the things here.
This one was funny because it looks so all over the place. It's hilarious. Go into it.
Absolutely. So it's 1 Unholy, 2 Frost Runes. So we're able to run things like Horn of Winter and, of course, Corpsicle. But we can also run things like Brittlebone Buccaneer, which, gives any Death Rattle minion you play Reborn. So we're playing a lot of Reborn stuff. We've also got our Undertaker. We've got our Chillfall Baron. We've got Helia. We've got Cryo Sleep, Might of Menethal. Just a whole bunch of fun stuff like that. We've got Torga, which is one of our new legendaries, which draws a kindred card and a card that activates the kindred card. So we've got our Dread Raptor, I think was our kindred card that we were tutoring with that. And or our reanimated Pterodax. I want to say one of those was the kindred and one of those was the activator. I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I can't remember which one.
It was a while ago. Yeah. But it's got that really fun kind of interplay there. We've got some quite a bit of pirates in here. So we've got patches to help thin the deck. I'm saying a lot of cards. That's how you know it's a Prince Renathal deck.
Hey, don't forget, we've got corpses going on here with hell yeah. Like there's like this is like a toss salad. There's so much stuff going on and it's fast and it's fun.
Yeah, buddy.
Which I think is pretty cool. Like it just seems it seems like someone's like, I like this. But I like that. I also like this other thing. Let's just do it all.
And honestly, the way that some like decks in our format kind of come together, sometimes it's just like good cards blank, right? I think that's kind of what this is good cards Demon Death Knight. And here are good cards that synergize with each other.
How many death rattles are in here?
We've got quite a few. So, of course, we've got Miracle Salesman, Space Pirate. We've got Dreadhound Handler, Harbinger of Winter, Chillfallen Baron.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think Glacial whatever was a new card. I don't remember what that one was.
Like anything like
Dread
3 mana
Raptor.
and below, there's a lot. So like you could start off like if you get Undertaker, like you're ripping that like on turn 1, and then you can like hopefully build your Undertaker like you would, right? And if that doesn't work out, that's okay. We got other things to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we only ended up playing like one Undertaker, and it was not at the very beginning, just because that's when we drew it. That's variance, especially in a Renathal deck. But yeah, it looks like so much fun. And it was a lot of fun when we were playing it too. It can probably be like optimized a little bit, but like it wouldn't surprise me if this is kind of close to like some kind of Death Rattle Knight. Death Rattle Knight? Death Rattle Knight. Yeah.
DRK.
Yeah. Dr. K.
Dr. K. Oh. Calling it right now, Dr. K.
Dr. K.
Cool. And then there's Horizon's Edge, which is in here, which is always just broken. So.
Oh, yeah. And Construct Quarter, just a whole lot of fun locations that synergize with doing all those fun stuff and things, too.
Unrelated Advice with Electric Sheep City.
Electric Sheep City.
Meowdy.
About a week ago, could have been longer. You had purchased an LP that had a bear on it, known as Winnie the Pooh. If you don't know the origin of Winnie the Pooh's name, I'd like you to make one up and tell me all about it. If you do know, you can tell me the real origin of the name Winnie the Pooh. Either way, I'll be satisfied.
So this is the new LP, which I actually have not yet gotten a chance to put on the turntable. So the legend goes that the author, whose name I'm drawing a blank, of the books of Winnie the Pooh, whenever he was telling the story of Winnie the Pooh to his children, which is how it started out, I think it was his son, was saying that Pooh would say, Pooh, Pooh, Pooh. So like in the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh, whenever the butterfly, I think it is, like in the opening title sequence, lands on Winnie the Pooh's like snout, and it goes Winnie the Pooh, and then he goes Pooh. That's supposed to be essentially the origin of it, because the kid was saying that that's what it would be. But the kid could very well have just been trying to get away with having him name the character Poop. So that is my speculation at the end, but the official story throughout.
Wise words have never been spoken, and you heard that on
Born to be wild.
Are you surprised that I actually knew? Probably not, because I have a kid that's super into it. But
well, no, I don't know, because like your version isn't exactly like the entire thing that I know. I think that's part of what I know.
ooh, tell me more.
Do you know what the kid's name is?
Oh, what was it, Winnie?
No, the kid is Christopher Robin.
Oh! You mean in the story? I thought you meant the author's
No,
kid.
in real life.
Yeah, I know Christopher Robin, of course.
Do you know where the bear lived?
The
He's a
100
real
Acre
bear.
Woods.
No, he's a real bear.
the real bear.
He's a real bear.
Was it under a sign called what was it? I don't remember what it was under. It was a sign called something.
No, he's
What
a
was
real
the joke
bear. It's not a joke. He's a real bear. And his name is Winnie because he was in the Winnipeg Zoo.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's kicking rad.
Yeah, Winnipeg, Manitoba. And Christopher Robin was a real boy, not like Pinocchio who wanted to be a real boy. This is a real boy. and he named him Winnie the Pooh. Like it was in the Winnipeg Zoo in Manitoba. That's where I grew up. In Winnipeg.
Oh, that's awesome.
A wee little lad. Yeah. It's like a Winnie the Pooh's Canadian. Yeah. The bear is Canadian. There must always be a Canadian.
There must always be a Canadian.